Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, we need to have a talk. We need to have a chat about gospel singer. I know him as a gospel singer, and Pastor Marvin Sapp closing the doors of his sanctuary, not because someone was getting married or not because he was baptizing people in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, but because he needed y'all to help him raise $40,000. Okay, he wanted 1,000 people in person to give $20, and he wanted 1,000 people watching the service online to give $20. He wanted 40K. I don't know what he needed the money for that was so pressing. I don't know if he's booked some upcoming summer vacations or what. But before we get into it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Please subscribe to the channel and know that everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this video is allowed. I do want to shout out the Neighborhood Talk for posting this video, and shout out to the church member or visitor who sent this over to the blog. This definitely sparked some conversation, and I want to get into it all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic so that there's not an echo. I'm going to play this video. I'm sure you've seen it. I saw where Ebony DeBest, I saw where she covered it last night. I took a night off from blogging, but I definitely wanted to give my opinion on it. All right, so please hit the like button.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife Melinda P. Sapp was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap. That's swag. I was looking in her eyes. She's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. That's it. And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket.
Okay, I just had to go ahead and stop listening because I was getting annoyed. But that was Marvin Sapp telling the ushers to close the doors. They obviously was probably a little shocked at his request because he had to say it a few times. He said, close the doors, close the doors, close the doors. So typically, I guess he does not stop them from allowing people to exit. It sounds like it appears that they were at the end of service. Perhaps he had already opened the doors of the church. If anyone joined or requested prayer, if he does that at the end of the service, sounds like he already took care of that. And then before everyone could dismiss, he wanted to take up another offering, and he had a goal of 40,000. Again, I don't know what this 40K would be needed for. I don't know if he disclosed it before the beginning of the clip that we see. I have a feeling he didn't disclose the need for it. I know from volunteering in the church that if you are putting on an event and you need some money from the church, you definitely need to say what it's for. You can't even just say, oh, we need $500. You're gonna type up a letter and say, we want to do a back to school drive and we want to buy book bags for the kids along with the school supplies. Each kid will get 1 notebook, 5 pencils, and an eraser. I'm using an example. Like, everything has to be itemized. And before you type up that letter and submit it to the trustees, you've already gone online or gone to Walmart and priced some things out. Then as a committee, you all discussed it and agreed that each book bag would get this amount of stuff, and you're going to get this many book bags from this vendor. So all of that is detailed. And I get that he is the head of the church or the under shepherd underneath God, but all those members who are giving their hard-earned money, their net income after the taxes and expensive insurance is taken out, and hopefully their 401k contribution, they are still donating this money to the church. And hopefully the goal is going towards a back to school drive, just like an example that I gave. Or maybe there's going to be an Easter program and you want to do something special for the kids. Or, in a few months, the kids are going to be graduating from high school, college, and maybe the scholarship committee needs that 40K. I hope the funds are going to reasons such as that. And some people who are very religious, very indoctrinated, they may say to me, he the pastor, he ain't got to say what the money is for. And it ain't, if you don't want it to go to the scholarship committee, it don't have to. But my point is, if you're going to emphasize giving is worship, and a fellow minister or armor bearer, someone in the background was echoing Marvin Sapp, giving is worship. Yes, it is, but there are other forms of worship as well. What happened to lifting up the hands and praising? God is looking for the true worshipers who worship in spirit and in truth, and not just trying to please man, not trying to be seen giving money. And that's another thing I want to talk about, the whole visual. You notice Marvin Sapp said, bring the baskets up here because I want to see y'all. I want to see 1,000 people bring money. So, like, I have visited a church. Now, I know some of my subscribers are definitely here in Michigan. So, baby, I ain't saying a name. It was just a matter of, I had gotten off of work. It was on a Wednesday. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try like a different church for Wednesday night Bible study just to like check it out. And it turns out the Wednesday that I went to, it was like the night that they present all of their different auxiliaries. So it was just like a big show. And it was like, there was even like a horseback riding ministry, and a man comes in on a horse. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm expecting to be told to turn to First Corinthians, but I didn't know because I'm not a member there. And it was like this huge show. So then it was time for giving, and they had the different baskets set out, but it was all like based on denomination. And when I say denomination, I mean the bill that you're going to give. There was a basket for the Benjamins, okay, the $100 bills. There was like, or not even the denominations, but the amounts. Like if you're going to sow $1,000 seed, come to this bucket. If you're going to sow like a $500 seed, come to this basket. And it's very off-putting because it's giving, a show. And I think that the church, it's ideal for people pleasers or people who think that you have to be so close to perfection in order for God to love you or be pleased with you or to bless you. Like they're saying, like he said, this is not hard, people, to do this miracle. And there's like this weird connection between, all these things that you have to do according to man in order to get blessed by God. But what happened to, God is love. Cast your cares on him, for he careth for you. I don't see any scriptures in the Bible where it says like, if you give $20, if 1,000 of you give $20, this will be a miracle. A miracle will happen. I feel like when Jesus walked the earth, he spent a lot of face-to-face time with the farmers. During biblical days, it was an agricultural society. So in my opinion, I always feel like farmers are humble people. They are growing the foods that we eat, and it's not a glamorous job. And I feel like that was who Jesus spent the time with. So I don't think he was talking a lot of dollars and cents with them, because I think farmers have to put so much work before they get a return on their investment. They have to plant the crops and pray for rain, not a flood, but pray for rain and pray that there's not a drought. And then they have to sell their goods. There's so much that they put into before they get some money back. And so I just don't think that Jesus was telling people, if you give your money, you're going to get so much. I think that he talked about planting seeds and having faith for the seeds to grow, because it was an agricultural society and he wanted the people to be able to understand his parables and be able to relate. But the whole pressure to give, I do not like. And also I want to say, he was saying, y'all ain't going nowhere but to the restaurant. And you're going there too. You're going there too. But even if that's all where they had to go, that is their Sunday. That is their Sunday. They have praised God. They have prayed. They may have sat there in church or stood up and prayed for their coworker, their neighbor, their friend. They may have given some money already. They've spent their time with God in church, and they can spend some more time with him at home. But the whole closing of the doors, you're forcing them. That's not of faith, that is force. And for some people, that could have triggered their anxiety. It would have triggered mine, the idea that I cannot leave. And like what an usher was gonna like push people away. I think that's totally wrong. And it felt like a fire hazard. Remember the film Lean on Me? When the lady, she had one of the bad kids that the principal got rid of. She got mad because she had like spies on the inside who said that he put like sticks inside the door handles. The reason why he did that was to keep the riffraff. So the ninjas that got kicked out of the high school because they were troublemakers, they were trying to sneak into the school. So the principal, played by Morgan Freeman, he put like sticks in the door handles so that they couldn't force their way in. Well, one of the hating ass mothers reported him, and that was a fire hazard. So when I saw this clip, I could not help but think of the movie Lean on Me. This is a fire hazard, dude. And then I wanted to make sure that I touched on all my points. So I talked about the fire hazard. It would have triggered my anxiety, and him saying, you don't have nothing to do. You just going to the restaurant. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, another note that I wrote down. So this is like a major reason why people don't go to church. They don't F with the church because they don't like the whole prosperity preaching, the greed, the pressure to give. And I remember one time discussing this on Gabor's channel. If you are familiar with Gabor, like years ago, he would call in on Sherelle's World. He's hilarious. I remember we were discussing this. This was like a few years ago. And I remember this lady told me, well, the church ain't gonna change. She said, just find another church to go to. Basically saying like, just church hop, But I'm like, but should we just be okay with they ain't gonna never change? Why be complacent? Why be complacent? And literally, especially once a church pays off the mortgage and they own the edifice free and clear, there's like the light bill, the water bill, and then the payroll. Okay? The payroll, the pastor's salary. Then that church may decide to give him a food stipend, a travel stipend, because he's traveling to the nursing homes or the jail praying for people. Hopefully he's doing that. And then they may also give him a separate amount of money for health insurance, So most of the money that people give is going to the payroll and stuff. It's going to the trips. I mean, I'm not just pulling this out my butt now. So I think that people should be given a little bit more respect and not be treated like indentured servants or slaves by saying you can't even leave the building. And honestly, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. They don't care because, like, I'm sure he's making six figures a year, drives a luxury car. Like I'm sure he's doing great. And he may do it again where he'll close the doors and ask for another 40K. And maybe he'll say this represents the 40 years that the Israelites wandered in the wilderness. I don't know, put like a nice little bow on it and collect the cash. But I feel like spirituality, it's much deeper than, you have to do what I say, or if you take issue with it, God is going to curse you. That is something else that I heard. I was enjoying someone on YouTube, and then I couldn't listen anymore, couldn't go back anymore. When they said, if you come after me, God is going to take your blessing and give it to me. I don't think God is that mean. God is not like man. So, and we can try our best to represent him, but we are not perfect. So, we're not going to fully represent him. But I think that God is much more loving than that. And of course, you can't go around harming people, scamming people, putting your hands on people, abusing people. But if it's a disagreement, if you're just disagreeing with what the pastor says, if you're just disagreeing what this holier than thou person is saying, I don't think God is going to curse you because of that. And if you don't have it to give, if you don't have the monetary funds to give, God understands that. He's all knowing, right? He sits high and he looks low, so he sees everything that's going on. So God knows how high these groceries are. God sees that you have children and you have mouths to feed. God knows how much you make on your job, your take home pay. He knows how much the utilities are, how much insurance is. He knows about your student loan debt. He understands if you don't always have the funds to give. He's not going to curse your life. He's not going to withhold any blessings because it's a little tight right now. He knows all about it. He's all knowing. He's still going to love you. He is not like the representation here on earth. That is insanity. But what did you all think of what Marvin Sapp did, the closing of the doors until he reached his goal of 40K? How did it make you feel? Like when you comment, I want you to think about your feelings, what your thoughts would have been if you were in that sanctuary. Also, answer my poll on my community tab if you have not already done so. I thank you all so much for watching this video. I know I've been making, a few non-Love and Marriage Huntsville related content. This is the new normal, a new climate for us all, but it's going to be good. So I thank you all so much for watching. Please hit the like button on this video, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.